Hey there folks, Aldershot here, and today we're going to take a look into Proteus, developed by Ed K. and David Kanaga, on sale on Steam at the regular price of $10 USD. So what is Proteus anyways? Well, we'll go into the game and we'll take a look, alright? It's essentially an open world adventure game that's completely procedurally generated, and there's no real mechanics to really speak of, alright? It's actually, the way it works is the world essentially reacts to you, right? So you just being around the world will change the soundtrack of the game itself, and it'll also change, the environments as well. There's no actual mechanics now. That's the thing. There's no like enemies to fight, loot to collect, stats to build, or anything of that sort. It's literally a walk in the park. That's essentially what it is. Now I've kind of roamed through Proteus's randomly generated world for a good half an hour or so, and I have to say, the RNG generation of the world is pretty good. I've seen a fair amount of variety without too much repetition. Obviously there's going to be repetition, but even after about half an hour to 45 minutes or so, I still started to see more and more new biomes and different little things to interact with in the environment that the game kind of kept surprising me with. So even though there's no actual mechanics, it's the discovery of walking through this world itself is kind of the mechanic of the game. That is pretty much it. Oh look, here's some chickens here. Now as you can see, it's quite aesthetically pleasing. Simple, yes, but it does the whole 3D pixelated look pretty good, I have to say. It does do the 2.5D aesthetic justice, if you will. And now I do realize that this is probably not going to be everyone's cup of tea, alright? I think that's kind of obvious. Those who are more mechanically driven, Proteus is probably not going to be worth the $10 that it's asking for. But for those who like to enjoy, a virtual stroll through the woods, Proteus is actually kind of an interesting game. I mean, the concept itself isn't overly new. Over the last couple of years or so, the whole idea of non-game games, if you will, have been kind of brought to light and have been explored actually quite a bit. And I have to say, I think Proteus does a pretty good job of exemplifying the nature of these, I guess you can call, non-game games. Again, it's probably not for everybody, but if you're into this sort of stuff, then it might be worth your $10 just because it's, well, aesthetically is done really well, and like I mentioned before, the RNG is actually pretty good. I'm still seeing new things from my previous adventure, I guess you can call it that. Now for those who play survival games like DayZ or say The Long Dark or something like that, honestly, those games are very similar to a game like Proteus. The only real difference is, in games like DayZ or Long Dark, is every now and then I have to pick up a can of beans, and now and then I have to eat it, and now and then I get killed by wolves or zombies. Whereas in this game, I don't get killed by anything, so this is like the super relaxing versions of those survival games, if you want to look at it that way. But it's interesting, if nothing else. For those who aren't into a game without mechanics, $10 is probably asking a lot for something like this, right? And honestly, I can see where you're coming from. Your complaints is justified in my opinion. It's just, you're a different type of gamer, and I completely understand that. And to be honest, I'm with you. I'm usually a mechanically driven gamer myself, but I have to say, I've enjoyed my time with Proteus. It's pleasing on the eyes, that's for sure. It's not going to be a game that I'm going to be dedicating a whole lot of time to, but every now and then, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes after work or something like that, Proteus, can serve that sort of purpose. Or maybe just a little something before you go to bed, So there you go, guys. That's pretty much Proteus in a nutshell. As I mentioned, this is basically the very definition of a non-game game. And it does it well, whether you like it, whether you like that sort of games or not. Alright? Anyways, folks, I'm going to get out here. Hopefully you found this enjoyable. Hopefully you found this informative. If you did, you know, show me some love. Like, share, fave, and comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Help me grow. That'll be really cool. And that's about it. See you next time, folks. Ultra shoutouts.